My name is Tamara T. I am a 7-figure Amazon FBA seller, and this is my 4th year selling on Amazon. In today's YouTube video, we are going to go over the biggest mistakes that you are making in your Amazon PPC automatic campaigns. Amazon PPC automatic campaigns are used to gather organic keywords that are searched from your customers. So this is an example search term report that I have right here. So all of these customer search terms that I highlight in yellow, by the way, this is just my dummy search term report, but all of these keywords that you see here in yellow are what customers are organically searching. A lot of Amazon sellers ask me, Tamara, how do I know what keyword my customer bought my product from? Well, the only way to figure that out is by running Amazon PPC campaigns. There's no other way to figure that out. So if you don't have any Amazon PPC campaigns running and you may be getting 1 or 2 sales here or there, you will never know what keyword it came from. It's very important that you know exactly what keywords generated sales, because these are the keywords that you can make a lot of sales from by building a manual PPC campaign. Now, today we are not going to talk about manual PPC campaigns. We will just talk about all of the mistakes that sellers make when they run an automatic PPC campaign. The first mistake that I always see is that Amazon sellers are not running their automatic PPC campaigns on a full day budget. If you guys want to launch your products quicker, you need a full day budget on your automatic PPC campaigns. Now, how do you figure out your full day budget? You may want to refer to this video that I did in the past, because I talk about how to figure out your daily budget for both your automatic and manual PPC campaigns. Now, if your budget only runs until the afternoon, you are missing out on the rest of the sales that are happening in the evening and later at night before you go to bed. And if that is the case, you are never going to have a quick launch. What you need to be doing is gathering enough keywords so you can build your manual campaign so your product will take off when you are doing your PPC launch. If your daily budget is running out too early, you don't have enough keywords to use and you don't know which keywords are working, which ones are not, and it just takes way too long to gather all of this data. So as an example, I want to show you, if you run your automatic PPC campaign for only a few hours a day and you run out of budget, you may only get like 5 or 6 keywords. But if you run it through the whole day, you may end up with all of these keywords. So that is just the difference between having a full day budget and having not a full day budget. You are just slowing down the entire launch process. Speaking of a daily budget, the second mistake is that sellers think just by increasing the budget, they are going to attract more customers. They are going to attract more sales. That's not necessarily 100% correct. You see, when you raise your daily budget, it just means that you may be getting more keywords and more data here in your automatic PPC campaign to work with, but not all of these keywords will generate into a sale. As you can see right here, all of these keywords did not make me a sale. There's no ACoS here, so there's no sale. But a lot of beginner sellers think, okay, just because I increase my budget, I should be getting more sales. No, you will not get more sales necessarily. I mean, you can, but you will definitely get more keywords if you have an optimized product listing, if your keyword bids are good, and if your keywords are relevant to your product, then possibly, yes, you can get more sales. But increasing your budget does not equal to increasing sales necessarily. So right here, I'm just going to change this word to running, not running a full day budget. And increasing daily budget does not equal to more sales. It really depends on the types of keywords, your keyword bid, and if that keyword is relevant to your product. It depends on the price of your product. It depends on many things. but you still want a full day budget because you need more organic keywords to work with to build your manual PPC campaign. The third mistake that I see Amazon sellers making when they are running their automatic PPC campaigns is that they are bidding too aggressively for no reason. Now, the whole purpose of running an automatic campaign is to collect keyword data and collect longer tail keywords where it should give you a sale with a lower ACoS compared to your manual campaigns. But if you bid too aggressively, Amazon will take your money. So if we go into this example automatic campaign right here and you adjust your bids by placement, if you adjust it by 900%, really high when you are just starting out your campaigns, I can almost guarantee you that your cost per click is going to be very high. So if this is 900%, $1 bid will be $10 for this placement. If you are just starting your automatic campaigns, you don't want to put any percentages here. You want to leave it at 0% or maybe 100%, but that's it. Because in order to use adjust bids by placement, you have to learn more about your automatic campaigns first. And then depending on the results, you may increase it or decrease it. But if you adjust this too high, or if you adjust your default bid too high, you are going to get charged a lot for a cost per click. If I go into the ad group of my automatic PPC campaign, right here is the default bid. This is default bid set for your automatic campaign. Now, if this were a lot higher, if you start with $2 or $3, I can guarantee you that your cost per click for a keyword is going to end up to be very high, which may result in a higher ACoS. So if we look at this search term report right here, my cost per click is 27 cents, 24 cents, 25 cents. They are very low because my default bid is pretty low. And this is what you want. For the keywords that have low bids and that made sales, my ACoS is super low, as you can see right here. And this is what you are trying to go for when you are running an automatic PPC campaign. Now, depending on how your results go going forward, you may increase the bid placement or you may just leave it the way it is. And that was exactly what we were looking at earlier. So you guys, please do not raise your default bid to a few dollars to start with. You are not going to end up with good results and your ACoS will be super high and your cost per click will be high and it's just not going to work. You want to start in the middle and then slowly work your way up depending on the results. The fourth mistake that I see a lot of Amazon sellers making is that they have way too many ad groups within their automatic campaigns. This goes for manual campaigns as well, but today's tutorial we're only focusing on automatic. So let's talk about ad groups. If I go into this automatic PPC campaign right here, you notice how I only have one ad group, total one ad group. Now, something I want you to understand is if you have multiple ad groups within one campaign, you are now sharing that daily budget with all of those ad groups. So in this example, automatic campaign, I have $25 on one ad group. That means $25 is being allocated towards only one ad group. Now, if I start making more ad groups, for whatever reason, maybe I have a product targeting campaign, or maybe I want to focus on different ASINs or whichever it is, I am sharing my $25 budget across all of my ad groups. So how can I possibly get enough data to spread across 5 ad groups when $25 only lasts for one ad group? You see how that works? So I see a lot of sellers create multiple ad groups for different reasons, and ad groups are great if you know how to use them and when you should separate your automatic campaigns. But most of the time, for most beginner sellers, you only want one ad group so you know exactly how much of your daily budget is being allocated towards one ad group. What I like to do if I were to test different types of keywords or data, I would just create a separate automatic campaign. That way I have 2 automatic campaigns, both with $25 budget, and now $25 is being used in one campaign and another campaign, not just $25 being used across multiple ad groups. I know this may sound confusing for beginners, but just trust me on this, when you are just starting out, you only want one ad group. The fifth mistake I see sellers making is that they are spending a lot of their money on product targeting campaigns. So let me explain this. When you are just starting your automatic PPC campaigns to gather keyword data, we are on a budget, right? A lot of us don't have a ton of money to invest into PPC, which is why you need to start prioritizing which campaigns matter the most to you. So we already know that automatic campaigns collect organic keyword data and gather important keywords for us to build manual PPC campaigns in order to launch our product faster and for our product to rank up to page 1 and to get better results quicker. Now, I'm not saying that product targeting campaigns are bad. I think they are great. But the issue here is that when you have a specific budget that you want to spend on PPC per day, you probably only should be focusing your ad spend on keywords only. So in this example search term report, we have keywords and we also have ASINs. Now, when these ASINs make us sales, for example, row 260, this ASIN made me a sale with super low ACoS. And you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I got a super low ACoS. Now I am going to product target this ASIN and hope to get more sales. Yes, that is a good way to get more sales, but it doesn't guarantee you a sale when you are product targeting. I like to have a few sales from a specific ASIN first before product targeting this specific ASIN. But what I am trying to say is when you launch your product and you are only focused on launching, you want to rank for keywords. You want specific keywords to go up to page 1. Whereas for ASINs, it's more meant to be used when you want to collect extra sales. Now, I'm not saying that sales are bad, sales are good. But when you are on a budget, you want to prioritize what your budget should be spent on. So for me, I like to prioritize keywords. If I only have $50 a day on PPC, I am going to put it towards keywords because keywords is what matters the most, in my opinion. When customers search on Amazon, they are always typing in a keyword. They're not typing in ASIN. So for me, if I were to prioritize my ad spend, I would mainly focus on keywords first. And then for all of these ASINs that made me sales with a super low ACoS, I would save these ASINs and then build a product targeting campaign once it's time. After I launch my product, I see some progress with the product listing moving closer to page 1, then I will start a product targeting campaign. And that's only if I have more money to spend. Because like I said, keywords are crucial when it comes to launching your Amazon product. But product targeting, it's important, but it's not a priority. So you have to really think about what matters to you. Of course, you can start a product targeting campaign right off the bat. I'm not saying that's wrong, again, but if you are someone that is on a tight budget, I do recommend you to start your product targeting campaign later when you start getting some momentum, when you start profiting a little, then you have extra ad spend to put into your product targeting campaigns. Now, I know other coaches may do things differently. Maybe they like to product target first. I don't know their goals and I don't know the reasoning behind that. But for me, I want to move my product up to page 1 as quickly as I can. Therefore, I focus on keywords. The sixth mistake that I see a lot of sellers making over and over again in their automatic PPC campaigns is that they are over optimizing. So let's get something straight here. In a lot of my YouTube videos, I talk about optimizing my PPC campaigns once per day. Now, the reason why I do once per day is because I go back to the previous day and to look at any super obvious keywords to remove. So if we go back to my search term report right here, if these keywords have nothing to do with my product, absolutely nothing at all, for example, African beads, when I'm not selling anything related to African, I would probably put the word African into my negative. That's why I do this once per day. I optimize once per day. But you need a longer period of time to really gather all of these keywords and then gather all of the clicks and the results here to really think, okay, should I put my keywords into the negative exact or negative phrase? Sometimes, actually all the time, like I said, sellers over optimize. So they will start taking all of these keywords, and if it didn't make me any sale, they will take these keywords and put them into the negative right away. You can't do that, and you shouldn't do that. So if I am looking at alphabet beads and I got one click and no sale, some sellers start panicking. They're like, oh my gosh, I had no sale. Okay, let's put it into the negative. You can't do that, because if you don't give it some time to get more clicks add up for this keyword, then you are never going to actually know if this is a good keyword or is it a bad keyword. We need more data and more clicks from customers searching for alphabet beads to really tell us, is this keyword going to make me sales or is it not? So do not be in a rush to put all of the keywords into the negative just because it did not generate you a sale yet. You have to wait until the clicks add up and then really ask yourself, do these keywords make sense or do they not? Are they specific enough or are they too broad? Because a lot of the times broad keywords will not give you the sales that you want because they are too broad. So just give it some time and don't over optimize. If you put too many keywords into the negative phrase or negative exact, you will notice that you're not going to get any customer search terms at all. The next few days, you will pull up your search term report and you will think, okay, why am I getting absolutely no data? It's going to look like this. It's not going to have any data and you're going to wonder what's wrong. Well, probably because you over optimized. So don't over optimize. Just think about what keywords make sense, which keywords don't, and give it some time. You guys, you have to give automatic PPC some time, at least 1 month, to gather enough keywords to start building your manual campaigns. So right here, I will put over optimizing, putting too many keywords into negative. And the next mistake that I see a lot, this is going to sound funny, is that you are under optimizing. You are not optimizing enough. And sometimes sellers do this too. So they will have like a month of automatic keyword data. They have so much data here, so much data, so many keywords, but they did nothing with it. It's just sitting, spending, and they don't know what to do with these keywords. That, my friend, is going to cost you a ton of money in costly mistakes, because some keywords are not good keywords. You should have put it into the negative, such as this one right here. We have 10 clicks, no sales. 10 clicks, no sales. We spent $5.45, no sales, with 10 people clicking on it. This keyword belongs into the negative. And when you have too much of these happening, you are going to start to wonder, why am I not getting enough sales? Why am I spending so much money and not getting sales? Well, have you even been optimizing? Have you been checking out the keywords that are costing you a ton of money and you did not put it into the negative? You have to do that as well. So don't go on autopilot. Sometimes when you are new to entrepreneurship, you're not used to having this responsibility of checking your campaigns every day. And if that is you, you need to get into the habit of checking your campaigns once a day. We want to make sure that it's running, it's spending, and we're not wasting a lot of money on costly keywords. Like this one is bad. I spent $41.67, 0 sales, 86 clicks for this keyword. Something like this is going to rob me, you guys. $41 gone just like that, because I put this keyword on autopilot. So make sure that you are optimizing, that you are not under optimizing. Remember to check campaigns and optimize regularly. Okay, and the very last biggest common automatic PPC mistake that I see a lot of is that sellers are rushing to start a manual campaign. Now, I don't know what the rush is. I truly believe that the longer you spend gathering organic keywords from your automatic campaign, it will really help your manual PPC campaigns, because this tells me keywords that have already made me sales, and then you have to learn strategies on when to use a broad campaign, a phrase campaign, and exact match campaign. But a lot of sellers are in a rush. They think that if they blindfold themselves and jump right into a manual PPC campaign, that their product will take off. No, my friends. That will give you a high, ugly ACoS that you don't want, because without proven keyword data, we don't know what works. We just don't. And if you start dumping these keywords into a manual exact campaign, it's not going to work out as well. You may already notice that your manual exact PPC campaigns have the highest ACoS, and that is because they are so specific and so targeted. You're trying to target that exact keyword. So before you do that, you have to learn which keywords are working, which ones have the lowest ACoS, and then slowly build to start your manual PPC campaign. I would not start a manual PPC campaign for at least 30 days. At least 30 days after running my automatic campaign. The only time when I will actually start a manual campaign right off the bat is if I have already sold this product. So if I have already sold this product and I know all of the keywords, I know which ones work, which ones don't, I can gather previous keyword data for my new variation product and start testing with a manual campaign. But even then, I find that results are better if you start with an automatic campaign first. So that would be the only exception when you should be using a manual campaign first, is if you already know your product really well and you know which keywords are working and which ones are not. Then you can try jumping into a manual campaign. But please don't rush to start your manual PPC campaign. I guarantee you, I promise you, it's not going to end up with great results. You are going to spend a lot of money, waste a lot of money, and have a super high ACoS. If you guys want to learn how to set up your PPC campaigns step by step, then I refer you to this previous YouTube video that I did right here, because it will show you everything that you need to get started. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a huge thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I look forward to seeing you in my next YouTube video.